In this part of the Master Key System, we are covering spiritual science, which for many years has been laughed at, scoffed at, has been overlooked, and absolutely not taken seriously. I am definitely guilty of this. And why is that? Why has spiritual science not been taken seriously? In this day and age, people are concerned with definite causes and definite results and facts only. For our level of science of where we've gotten today, we want definite answers. So in this part 13 of the Master Key System, Charles Haanel explains about how we got here today with our level of science and the exact precision that it operates with, coming to us thousands of years ago from Lord Francis Bacon, creating the foundation for the methods that we come across our results here today, and the level of science, objective science, that we analyze things with. This method includes looking at individual facts, and understanding them, putting them under analysis, looking for repeatable instances before we come across general conclusions. This method of systematically collecting information gives us the reliability of facts before we come to conclusions on big things and small things that exist in our world, like the laws of gravity, like the laws of light, physics. And what this does is gives us exact precision so that we can get rid of any superstition, any prejudice, and taking information blindly. And today's day and age, that's exactly what we don't want to do. We want absolute facts before we venture off onto some new idea or belief. We want to know that this is for sure. And it's a good feeling to know that that's what this book is based on, is calculating small instances, understanding knowledge that we already have here today, that science has progressed us to this standard, and we are using this consciously. In regards to spiritual methods, we might ask, how do these supernatural things happen? Well, there is nothing supernatural. Everything happens by an exact cause and with exact precision. Whether someone is doing this consciously or unconsciously, there is a reason and there's a foundation and facts that bring it to happen. And what we are interested in is using this knowledge for our own benefit so that we can reap the rewards that we want in this lifetime for ourselves. The fact is, sometimes when we get things in our life, when we achieve certain things, we don't get the result or the feeling that we thought we would have got. We can achieve something, we can achieve a status or some sort of degree or diploma, or even a job. And when we get that thing, we realize that the feeling actually doesn't come with it that we expected. Or if it does, it's a very fleeting feeling and it's actually just temporary. This actually gets us thinking, what do we actually want? What we all want, what any human being wants, is happiness and harmony in their life. And we want this through a pleasant environment. We want this through being healthy, through being strong, through achieving our desires, our necessities that we have in this life, but not only our necessities that we're entitled to. Also, we want the luxuries that life has to offer. The fact that we want and desire these things is contradictory to other teachings of just being happy with what we have, with just taking our peace and settling for that. This book goes into, actually, we deserve to have all the luxuries that we are capable of. The abundance is here in this world for ourselves, for us to grow and to make more of our life, of our consciousness. And if the materials and if the physical capabilities exist, why should we not be a part of that? And what we are interested in is actually attaining these things here and now for ourselves. And how do we attain these things? Well, we use the teachings of the Master Key System to put them into practice. This is one of the most incredible books of actually giving us the knowledge of what's going on here, the law of attraction, the law of love, and how to magnetize that through practical effort. By putting this into practice, this book incorporates them both. And by an example of an athlete, we can read about knowledge our whole life. We can obtain information, get degrees, study courses. But just like an athlete who can read about improving their skills, improving their strength through training, the reading won't actually bring them the strength that they're actually looking for. We can read about how the muscles work, but unless we're actually putting that into practice, we will not build any strength. Using the equation of cause and effect, we are going to have to give these things first before we get them. So in the case of the athlete, they will have to give the strength through training before they get it in themselves to build their muscles, to build their capacity. And with the Master Key system, we are preceding physical reality, and this is a mental process of giving. So when we are thinking of our health, of our strength, we want to build courage, we have to give these thoughts, we have to generate these thoughts within ourselves before we receive it. Through the process of giving these thoughts, we are influencing what Charles Haanel calls universal substance, the one that creates the all, that is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. This is the all that is, and thinking as the spiritual practice is influencing this universal substance. Through thinking consciously, we are influencing this universal substance. When we do this, and we do this intentionally and have positive thoughts, and we are thinking of things in our ideal, this is putting things into motion that we are completely unaware of. And this is happening, and we are letting this process happen. We are the finite influencing the infinite. And through this process, we are going to get the things that we want when we stick with it and we don't have contradictory thoughts. What is happening, where the problems are arising, is that we are the finite trying to influence how the infinite is going to bring things into our life. One way to look at this is when we make an order online, we place our order, and that is our order. That is equivalent to our thoughts, thinking positively of health, of success, of courage. We are placing our order to the universe. But what happens is that we try to decide and influence how these things are going to happen. That would be like placing the order on Amazon online and then going and telling them how to get that product to our doorstep. We would be going saying where to source this product, how that's going to be transported, where to get it from the warehouse, and the delivery path that it needs to take. A lot of these things should not be any of our concern. When we place the order to the universe and we think about the things that we want, we need to cut off any inclination to think about how this is going to manifest in our life. There are millions and billions of scenarios that exist in the infinite field of relativity, and none of them are our concern. Our concern is a result that we're going to get, and the preceding factor of putting these things into motion. By trying to control how the universe is going to bring things to us, our desires, we are actually getting in the way. And we're actually bothering and disrupting the creative process the same way that it would be like instructing Amazon on how to get the package to our doorstep and delivered. We have nothing to do with that process. If we do anything, we'd be getting in the way of the professionals who do this as their daily job, and they know what they're doing, and they're getting our packages to us. In the same way, the universe knows what it's doing. So when we put out the cause, we need to trust. And when we put in that online order, we don't really stick with it. Yeah, there might be some sort of tracking information, but we never think that this thing isn't coming. We know that it's coming, and we're patient, and we trust that it's going to be there. But what do we do in the meantime? We get on with our life. We get on with the daily things that are happening, and it's the same thing with the universe. We have our ideal, we visit it, and we impress this in our mind when we're quiet, when we're silent. And for the rest of the day, we go on about our day. Sure, we can think about it when we have spare time, when our mind permits, and we can direct our mind there, but we do not need to interfere with the creative process. So for the practical step in part 13, what we are going to do is to contemplate that we are part of the infinite, that the infinite cannot create something different from itself. We are the same quality of the creative source, this universal substance. And what we are doing when we are contemplating that we are part of the universe, that we are a drop of the ocean, we are gaining our power. We are gaining our power of the infinite that is omniscient, that is omnipresent, that is all powerful. we are gaining that power, and this is wisdom. And we have this wisdom, we begin to incorporate it within our thoughts. The main part of the practical step for this part of the Master Key system is to realize our power, that we are part of the highest source of energy that there is, just a difference in degree. And when we realize this, we begin to regain our power, we begin to feel it, we begin to embody it with our thoughts. And this is how we get to a point of no limitation for the things that we want. The universe is not a bankrupt. It is not here rationing any resources whatsoever. The main thing is to understand our power and that we are a channel for the universe. And when our desires are in line with the universe, then they come about quickly, then they come about readily, and they're the things that we want for ourselves. And it's the same thing that the universe would want for us. So I hope this part of the Master Key system helps along our manifestation journey and understanding the spiritual science. Take care until next time.